Welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Top Producer Tuesday. Today I have Nick Rao here with me. Nick is an agent that I definitely look up to a lot. This dude's an absolute monster at what he does. I feel like the experience he creates for his clients, the drive that you have, like the way that you approach your business is something that everyone here can take a lot out of. With that being said, I want to start from the beginning, understand, I know about your background, but a lot of people probably don't know. So tell us a little bit about like where you came from, how you grew up, early days, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll get into like, the later stuff. But
how far do you want me to go back?
As far as you want, my brother.
Okay. I grew up in Northeast Philadelphia for the most part. At one point in my life, I lived for a few years. So my parents had me at 20 years old.
Okay.
So they were not exactly, flush with cash for a while.
Yeah.
My mom's a nurse and she went to nursing school, up in Pottsville, which is like up the mountains.
Yep.
So I had to move up there, me and my sister, for like 5 years while my dad kind of commuted back and forth. He worked at Tioga Pipe right here in, Port Richmond. And, I always attribute that whole thing to, we were like super poor. I lived in a $10,000 house up the mountains in a place called Lost Creek, Pennsylvania. And, I wasn't the poorest. Like I had neighbors who like would come to my house to eat like their kids, but it was like a superpower because it's been a driver ever since, I think subconsciously. Like I don't think about it, but it's something that I think has driven me still to this day. Like where I just like, number one, I was happy poor and I'm happy now. So, but it's been a driver. I'd never want to be back there again. Things stabilized in my life. I did fine. My mom wound up becoming a nurse. I lived in Northeast Philly. I lived a blessed life. But from there, went to Penn State, supposed to play rugby there.
Yep.
Went up there, just had too much fun, was home pretty quickly. Jumped into an insurance job, which I absolutely despised.
Okay.
And I was drunk, and it was like 2 a.m. and my buddy was telling me he's a sleep tech. I asked him what his mom did. I'm like, what do your parents do? They were buying a new construction house in Tarsdale. I'm like, your dad's a fireman. What's your mom do? She's a sleep tech. That's what I do too. Can you make money doing it? How do you do it? And it was like, you can go to sleep school in Georgia. So I came home the next day. I told my mom, I'm going to Georgia to go to sleep school. And she's like, my mom's the director of nursing at this time at Temple. She's like, no, my nurse friend, who's underneath me, her husband runs a sleep lab at Penn.
Okay.
So she's like, I'll get you in there. And I got in there. I became a sleep tech.
So is that like, were you doing sales or?
No, this was clinical. Like I would do sleep studies on people. And I did that so essentially story goes from there. I bought my first house at 21 years old.
Port Richmond, right?
Yeah. My buddy, Jimmy Burke, who now owns the Santucci's in Wildwood.
Awesome.
And owns a pretty big rental portfolio. It kind of sparked for both of us.
Yep.
We unintentionally house hacked. Like we were just two guys who wanted to have fun downtown. You know what I mean? And we put a couple friends in it and we wound up not paying for anything. It was when Obama had like the American Dream loan. So I think I got paid like $2,000 in settlement as opposed to having to like bring money.
Yep.
It was really, really cool. I bought a house in Port Richmond. We had a lot of fun. And his wife bought me out, like his now wife bought me out like 2 years later for like $12,000. And Rye Gallagher, who we spoke about yesterday, called me because I was like looking for houses. I'm like, I got to go somewhere. And he's like, yo, there's this house in Fishtown. He's like, $60,000. It's off market. You need to go to the lawyer's office and just go give the deposit and get
this house. Yep.
And he drew up like a 1-page agreement of sale, did it. And that was my beginning into real estate flipping. So me and my dad flipped that over 2 years. I thought we were going to take a $60,000 house, sell for maybe like $160, $170. And Fishtown was not what it is today. I was there literally the day it basically started. And by the time my sister was getting married, so my dad didn't have a lot of time. So it took us a long time. And we wound up selling it for like $280.
Okay.
So it was like a total home run. And then I was off and running. I wound up doing maybe like 4 or 5 more.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And then my mom was like, hey, you really love this? Like, you should become a realtor.
Was that like by accident, basically? Like that you started flipping these houses? Where did that come from?
No, so my dad would always call me, like, so like as we're doing this, my dad's a contractor.
Yeah.
But like at this point, I'm like all in on like HGTV.
Yeah.
And like that was like the beginning of them kind of doing stuff. I don't know if anybody remembers Homes on Homes, Mike Holmes. He's like this Canadian, like kind of brash dude, but like he did everything the right way.
Yeah.
My dad was not that way. My dad was a hack. I was big on like, I
got to do this
everything done the right way.
Yeah.
You know my standards,
Yep.
So I was born like that.
Okay.
So, we'd be doing things and he'd be like, all right, Holmes, as we're flipping this house together. He's got all the experience and I'm the guy telling him what the guy said on television.
Right. Do you really think you were born that way, or is there something that made you have that like kind of perfectionist?
My mom's a bit more like of a perfectionist.
Okay.
My house has always been like clean to like a point of like, and her mom is like that too. Like my nan is still comes over and is cleaning all the tops of all of my trim.
So people who are just very meticulous. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm a Virgo too, so that.
All right.
I'm not much of a horoscope guy, but if that matters, it lines up.
So, all right, there's a lot to unpack there.
There is.
College.
Yeah.
You're in Port Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of, I guess, stumble into flipping houses to a certain extent, right?
And at this point, I'm working nights.
Okay.
In a sleep, doing sleep.
And what does that look like compared to real estate sales? Like
nothing, no crossover whatsoever. I'm in a clinical setting, hooking up patients with EEG leads, EKG leads, pulse oximeters. I'm titrating them with CPAP masks and BiPAP devices and things like that. I know I'm probably speaking over a lot of heads here, but like it was, putting people on oxygen, like, saving people's lives. Really, like it's just not in an acute setting, but more in like if you don't do this, you're probably going to die. So
you're doing that at night.
I'm doing that at night. Yeah. And the problem was I bought the house, and a month after I bought the house, the economy went to shit. Like,
when was this?
This is 2008.
Okay.
So I lost my job, and like, I'll never forget, like I was freaking out. We went to a dinner with my parents' friends and me. And every single dude at the table was unemployed. It was like 15 men.
That's crazy.
And we were like 3 months into 2008. That was a wild time.
So that was in the middle of flipping the first house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought that too. Yeah. So that had a little bit to do with the extended thing. My sister's getting married. And all these things are kind of influencing together.
So were these houses moving then when you flipped them, or?
I didn't flip like your traditional flipper. Like what I was doing was I was holding the house for 2 years so that I could get it tax free. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I started doing was like I would move to the house that I just did.
Yep.
And then like at like the 18-month mark, I would go and find with like hard money from a buddy of mine the next one.
Yep.
And start working on it. Then by the time I hit 2 years, I was finished that one. I would leave this one with all my money and go to the next one.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I just took like probably $700,000 in tax free.
So you were basically hopping around, living in different places, rehabbing them as you went.
Yeah. I think I lived in like 20 homes since I was 21.
I mean, that's awesome. That's like a great way to build equity without having to do the like actual traditional flip, right? If you can do it, especially when you're young.
Yeah.
So you're flipping houses, you're doing the sleep tech.
Mm-hmm.
What was the transition point into real estate sales?
My mom. So I was like, so I got laid off from the sleep tech thing, and it sucked because like I was definitely like their best employee.
Yeah.
And it was just like I just wasn't there long enough. So what I had to do was I had to go pick up per diem jobs all around the city. So I worked at CHOP, I worked at Temple, I worked at University of Pennsylvania. I worked at all the big hospitals.
Okay.
And essentially what I would do was I would pick up all the shifts. I'd fill the whole week. So I'd work 7/12s. But the problem was like our city population, like they just didn't get. And the way that it worked out was it was a 2-to-1 patient to tech ratio. And because I wasn't a full-time worker, I was a per diem worker, I'd be the first one cut if people didn't show up.
Right.
So I would go in, get like 4 hours most nights, and have to come home, which I slept all day for. It sucked.
Yeah.
So I was just going to my mom, like, I got to do something else. You know, and she's like, Nick, she's like, you would be a great realtor. Like, I'll pay for it. And I resisted it for a long time. Like, I don't know what they make, whatever.
Yeah.
So she's like, just go do it. And I did it. And at the same time that I was like really taking on my first year, I think I did like maybe 2 million. Okay. And then the next year I did 4. And then the next year I was like 7.5.
Yep.
And that was the year I was getting ready to just come and do it full time. And, this medical device company walked in to the sleep lab that I was at. I was at the VA at the time. And they were like, dude, we would love to have you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm literally getting ready to quit any day. And they're like, nobody says no to us. Like, you don't understand this opportunity. Come out to Minnesota. They flew me out to Minnesota. I had a really cool interview. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then they gave me like the compensation package. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll ride this a little bit longer, you know? And so I was making more money than I ever made in my life because I was making like, it was great. I was just like able to swipe the credit card, company credit card. I went to Hawaii for like $11 because I was on points. I was able to swipe my credit card and they would reimburse me every week. It was great. So I was making a lot of money there and they wanted me to transition like hardcore into sales.
Okay.
And this is when like COVID hit and everything.
Yeah.
And
those first 3 years in real estate. When was that? What years?
So what? It's now 2017.
Okay. So it's like, okay. So 2017 to 20, I'm just trying to get the timeline. And then 2020 is when this medical device company approached you.
And then 2021, I believe, is when COVID hit. My timeline might be slightly off. But
2020.
2020, then it was, maybe. Then I was only doing real estate for 2 years when they picked me up, but I was feeling like I could go full time. I knew I could.
You were at that point.
I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
At that point.
Okay. And then, so did you continue selling real estate while you were doing that, or did you take a step back? Okay.
Hell no. Okay. No. I was working. That's what happened. Like, I was up all night. So I was flying like 7 days a week, really 6 days a week. I would fly to the lab at like 6:00 at night. In say like Richmond, Virginia or Pittsburgh. My territory was Pennsylvania, Ohio, New York, New Jersey, West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and I feel like I'm forgetting a state, but whatever. That was my territory. So like I would hop on a plane like 6:00-ish at night, land wherever it was always like a 45-minute flight.
Yeah.
Hop, get an Uber, go pick up like some like a title company, like a nice spread for them.
Yeah.
Bring it in. Teach the techs and the doctors how to titrate this new device for sleep apnea. That was an implantable sleep apnea device. And I think I was employee like 36.
Yeah.
We went public. It was $16 a share. When I left, it was $300 a share.
Dang.
And they were just handing me shares over and over again. And I was getting to the point where I told her, I'm like, these things don't vest for 3 years. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm just like indentured servitude. Like, I'm never going to get out of this if I don't just pull the plug.
Yeah.
They're just going to keep giving me 1,000 shares. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to chase this real estate dream if I don't pull the plug here. So I kept talking to her about it. And then one night I came down and I was like, my face was so red. I could feel like my blood pressure was like through the roof. I was essentially getting off the planes in the morning, sleeping on my Uber ride to Port Richmond, and then going out and showing houses all day. And then I would sleep at like 2 to 3, 2 to 4. And get back up and go fly to another place, do the same thing, get off the plane next morning, go show houses. So like I was just pushing and pushing and pushing to the point where I couldn't push anymore. And I told her and she's like, just quit already. Yeah. And I literally took my laptop out. I loved the company. That was the hard part. I loved my boss. Awesome. I could have made $500,000, $600,000 a year doing it that way. Or I could bet on myself, and I chose to bet on myself. So I penned the email. I literally never worked another day. I didn't even give 2 weeks. I was like, I'm done. Burn the boats. I'm ready to go.
I love that.
And I bet on myself. And I immediately went from like, I doubled my business, went to 15 million. And then I stayed a little stagnant there.
Well, I feel like what a lot of part-time agents don't understand is like they are very afraid to take that leap where they leave the full-time position and then go full-time into real estate. But I feel like
you just need to have 2 full-time jobs for a while. You got like, we could make it sound better than that.
Yeah.
Oh, you quit your job. Like to me, I was never taking the advice of quit my job and be uneasy and figure it out in real estate. I totally commend Jack for doing that.
Yeah.
I was able to zoom out and be able to give Jack that advice to because I thought he could do this pretty fast.
Yeah.
You had a great network and things. But I didn't have that kind of faith. So like, I had a child too.
Yeah.
In all of this,
so your
like,
thing was like, let me basically
work like
bust
a
out
dog.
at both of these things, and then when I get to the point where I think the real estate one is like enough to sustain me, I'm going to go 100%.
Yep.
Okay.
So I did it.
So very curious about what you took into, well, I guess you were doing them in tandem, but is there anything specific that you took from the medical device sales into real estate that you think is like a little bit of a different perspective that maybe other agents
I got a level of confidence doing that. Number one, that a company like that, like, even like wanted me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, that was the first time in my life that, like, you know, it was cool. I got recruited to play rugby at Penn State. That was cool. Like, my parents were like very supportive parents. I didn't have like a complex or anything. But like in the real world, being out in like, you know, nature, whatever. That was the first time somebody like of like high gravitas in my world, I felt like wanted
you.
And I was like, this is legit. Like, people don't have, like, I don't have a college degree.
Yeah.
People don't wind up in medical device sales. So like, I knew my value, but this was like, I don't know, this was like another level. So it kind of gave me a level of confidence. Going back to your point, the confidence, I think, just being in front of.
So coming in with the confidence that,
and we had a lot of great training and things. Like, we had a lady who was like a Hollywood actress come in and like, he just had to present. Not that I brought any of that forward with me, but.
What do you think it is that guy who you met, who offered you the position, saw in you that immediately he was like, this person can.
There's a woman. Her name is Rebecca Timms. She was an angel. She wasn't the first one to do that. Like, I've heard that was like a recurring message, like, through my life. It was like you'd be great at this, or like it was always like, I felt like it was like a hand trying to help me up. Saw something special that maybe I wasn't prepared for, like ready for at the time. You know, this was the first time like I was prepared to like kind of like take it. Be like, all right.
What do you think it is about you that makes people say that?
I have no idea, and I struggle to understand what it is that has differentiated me in this field. Like, that's why I kind of like look around this room and I don't see anything different in these people that I see in myself. So it's like, I don't always get how the hell I got all the way to the top. Not that I'm at the very, very top yet, but I'm damn close, you know? And then like in a major metro area, sometimes it's cool to like I just pick my head up one day and I was here, you know?
You're like top 100 in the greater PA area?
Percent United States, like, you know, like, and a lot of these people that I'm competing with are people who get the benefit of their team production. Like, I don't know how many people are doing 60 plus units a year. It's a lot, you know,
that they're procuring. So let's switch gears from, all right, we talked about medical device sales, all that kind of stuff. Let's switch into real estate a little bit. What do you think is the number one thing that separates you from the average agent in the market?
So I'm finding out that I think it's just like, I think I'm just willing to do a little bit more than they are. I'm willing to outwork. I like knowledge, so I go out and search and seek it and then try and figure out how it is that I could give that back to the public. I think I have a standard that not a lot of people, I don't know if they don't think about it or like aspire to it, but like, I'm trying to create like the best customer experience all the time. I'm trying to like, I don't know, maybe some of it is like ego or something. Like, I want them to feel like they loved working with me. So I think just, you know, you saw my screen time last week. It's 11 hours a day. Like, I answer my phone. I show houses at 5 to 8 o'clock at night on weekdays. I show them on the weekends. I run open houses. I do the things that you're supposed to do for the most part. I've chosen not to do things I don't like to do. Like, I enjoy my life. It's not like feel like I'm working my life away. It's just,
you genuinely
pick the things I like to do. I like fires. Fires don't bother me. Some people, they hate them. Doesn't bother me at all. I'm in my car, listening to my music, traveling. They're very appreciative more than sellers. I like sellers too, like, you know, and I'm pretty good at that part of it. I like being honest with people and getting them ready for sale. But, I don't know.
I think one of the things I've seen from you in terms of like it's honestly incredible for me to even watch is the level of service you provide, also with like balancing. I mean, you have 3 kids. Mm-hmm. You have a ton of going on.
Yeah.
How are you doing that? And what would your advice be? Is there anything that you think you would change about how you operate? Because like you're always like moving and shaking, like you're intense. It's like, I think honestly the answer to your question of why people approach you and say that you're going to be great at something is because like I think you just bring really strong positive energy where people are like, this is a person who's like motivated. You have the like it factor, right? So like, how are you moving at that level with a family and dealing with everything?
I think mostly because I'm doing things that I like. Like I'm very selfish. I don't do things that I don't like to do. You know, I chase the things that I want to do. At the end of this, I'm chasing what Jack said yesterday. I'm chasing peace. I'm chasing, one day I want to captain a boat in Key West and fly parasail people. That's what I want to do. And just maybe bartend a day a week. Like I want to make life easy and enjoyable. And I just know I'm in grind mode right now, and it is what it is. Like again, I'm also very present. Like I'll go on full Hawaii vacations and not take a picture. Because
you're doing the thing.
Yeah, I think you or Jim commented the last time we were out somewhere. Like, how do you do that? Like, you don't even pick up your phone. It's because they know I'm going to get back. Like, I'm not going to like get back to them 3 days from now.
Right.
I'm going to get back to them in the same day. And so like, while I'm here with you for 2 or 3 hours, I can put my phone away. Like, you're going to hear from me. So I try and not let this rule my life. Like it doesn't ring, doesn't buzz, doesn't do any of that stuff.
Do you
get to it when I
so like you have it on silent?
Yeah, it's always been on silent. I've never.
Are there any other rules that you use or implement to try and like kind of be present and not be pulled in a million different directions?
No,
that's it.
No, I mean I put Nicole in place, the assistant in place, to try and mitigate some of the things that like I didn't like.
Yep.
Like I don't like having to send something out under the gun.
Right.
Like, so like the fact that I don't have to do that anymore has been a life. Yeah. I filled it with more work, but I like the work. Like I find joy in working. Like this isn't work to me. This is like what life is.
One of the reasons I think agents or just business people in general, like are afraid of taking on leverage or using leverage is because like they're not thinking of all the things that they could do and fill that time with when you don't have to do those things, and I think like a common theme with everyone who's been up here is just they genuinely do enjoy what they're doing. It's like something that,
and I'll intertwine them. I love the golf. So I'm in golf and business. I'm doing that. I like going to dinner.
Right.
I like traveling. Like you can use these things and do both at the same time.
That's a great lead.
We have a family reunion and mega camp and like
it's a fun business.
Like we are so blessed. This is silly what we're doing.
You're like a SOI, like Sphere king.
Yeah.
That's like where I think pretty much all your businesses.
All of it. It doesn't come from anywhere else.
What are you doing to generate that type of like outreach from people who are in your sphere? Is there anything specific?
It's changed throughout the years. It's gotten.
When you started, what was it?
It was like being like a human walking CRM. I didn't even know what a CRM was for 5-6 years, probably, maybe even 7 years. That's how I wound up at EXP. It was like, I don't even know what a CRM is.
They're like, they have a CRM.
Yeah. And then I started researching CRMs for about 2 months.
Yeah.
I probably watched 400 hours of stuff on CRMs on YouTube.
Yeah.
Came up with that. I felt KV Core was the best one.
Yeah.
I tried to go buy it and it was like $1,000 a month. And I was like, whoa. And it was like, EXP gives it to you for free. I was like, all right, I'm going there.
Yeah.
And I did. And I went there and didn't use it because
how were you in front of so many people and getting them to give you business without having a system around it? What was it that you...
So it's weird. It's like, I felt like I didn't really... Like I had a nice cadence. It was just like kind of just, as I saw people, I would check in. I would say happy birthday on text and stuff. But I think it was more about like when they were in the transaction with me, like that they really felt that I had like their best interest at heart. Like I go in essentially and try and roast the house. Like So we get the one that I can't roast, and then I'm like, this is a good house.
This is a good house.
You know, and then like I've established all the trust. Like
Yep.
I'm not here to just get paid. Like I'm here to like fulfill the entire mission.
What are you putting into your client experience that you think elevates it above and beyond? Is it just the relationship you build with the people, or is there anything else that you're doing that you think is just like?
I'm thinking like as time goes by, like more touches. Like, you know, again, everyone knows I send the boxes with the tape and the markers like the second they go under contract. That's such a cool thing.
Really cool.
I'll try and I always offer like, hey, listen, like if you guys are gonna have a housewarming party, like I'll cater it.
Yep.
You know, I'm like I'll come.
Yep.
You know, so those things. I send out birthday cards. If I notice that somebody's having a baby or an anniversary or a wedding, like I send out cards with a little gift card. Somebody refers me business, I send everything's in the mail. I don't do anything digitally anymore. I just don't think there's any value to it, to be honest with you.
You're just hitting people consistently with love, basically.
Yeah. And like eventually it'll be client events, sooner than later.
Okay.
Last night I had an epiphany out in the backyard.
The next iteration.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to put an in-ground pool and pimp this backyard out. And I'm just going to have
bangers for
the RAL client appreciation event the weekend after Labor Day every year. Bring an orange crush truck in, bring in a band, bring the whole team and a bunch of clients and just blow it out.
Are we all invited?
Yeah, I got to talk to my accountant to see if I can write off the $300,000 pool.
Negotiating. I feel like you are a very good negotiator. You seem to know how to put deals together. I hear you on the phone with other agents. Like, I can tell that you're the type of agent that if you hit me up, I would like want to do a deal with this person.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific that, first of all, like, are there any key tenets that you kind of follow when you're getting into a deal? That you attribute to being a successful high level?
Yeah, I always call the other agent.
100%.
Like, so like, I think that's like very, very key is like early on. I try and leave feedback as much as I try and just be a good agent, like an agent's agent.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, I had one go under contract. We had 4 offers. Nicole asked me last night, she's like, do you want me to tell? I'm like, no, I'm calling them in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I want to call and I call them and thank them. Like, I know what it takes to put an offer in over the weekend. It stinks. And like, I'll keep you on the line. If anything comes up, I have more stuff coming up. I think when you approach things like that, when you have to be tough negotiating, like they don't take it personally.
Right.
You know, like I already have like the
relationship. And
like, they already trust me too.
Yeah.
Like you're going to feel like you trust me already. So I tell you like, yo, you got to come up 12 if you want it. You're going to come up 12 mostly, you know? If you don't, a lot of times you're not going to get it because I'm usually telling you the truth.
Literally, like I feel like the common theme of everything you do, whether it's like with agents, clients, like even when you were at your other jobs, it's like you're just really effective at building trust and relationships quickly.
Just being honest with people. I don't know that not being honest with people, regardless of how they feel about it, is like beneficial. Now, I heard something like my mom sent it to me, so she clearly thinks that sometimes I'm too harsh. Sent it to me a couple weeks ago, and it was like, nothing can be accomplished with harshness that can't be accomplished better with love. So, like, I'm trying to keep that in my head. Yeah. Sometimes I do have the bully mentality when my ego gets involved, and like somebody's like, we've moved off of like the friendly thing, and like you're like trying to push me around. I'll hit
him back a little bit.
Yeah, I just know when it's my time to turn it on, you know? I don't know if I should give that up because it's treated me.
Probably.
Yeah, it's part of the edge, exactly. So, but I am trying to be like more cognizant of the fact that like tone down a little bit of the harshness. Not everybody needs to hear it so real all the time, right. You know?
Or how you deliver it, maybe. Like,
that's still all about delivery.
Still being honest, but delivering it in the right way.
I put something on Facebook like a few months ago, like as I get busier, my intentions are always the same, but like I get more transactional than I want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like start like I'm getting everything done, but like I'm losing I lose the friendliness around it. So that's been like a main thing this year that I've been trying to like not lose that. Like what makes me like personal, warm.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't want it to become like, oh wow, Nick's too busy for me.
You've also generated a lot of business off Facebook or no?
Yeah, I just put my thoughts in there from time to time. I don't overdo it. I don't put them on there every day. I don't have any kind of cadence to it. It's just kind of like instinct of like when it's time. You know, I've dabbled with not putting anything on Facebook for like a year and seen what that looked like.
Yeah.
That's not good. Definitely be on social media. I think it was the first year I didn't grow. I think it was like I hit like 14 million, like 14.6, and I stepped back and it was like 13.9 that year, and I was like,
yeah.
It was literally an experiment on the business. I was making enough money that I'm like, I really hate doing this.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
Yeah. And then I quickly realized, like, nah, you got to do it. So now I'm diving in more than ever. I'm probably going to be more on your feed than ever, but I'll do it my own way. We'll see how it turns out.
I think another thing from like all this is just like authenticity, showing up as yourself. And like, if you don't need to be doing, like, he's not doing videos of himself, right? Mm-hmm. He's just writing what he wants to write and what he's thinking, and people are receiving it and they're like resonating with it. So like, you don't need, I know TikTok is the thing. It's great if that's you, but like, there's a lot of different ways that you can connect with people, and you just got to find like your shtick, like what works for you. Mm-hmm. You know, like even for me, it was more photos than videos. Like I would post a lot of photos of myself at open houses. I write a nice, well thought out caption, and that like captured people, you know?
I like to write. Yeah. So that's the thing.
If that's your thing, like you could probably start the best blog on earth about Bucks County if you wanted to, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm much more articulate with my thoughts when I can slow down and write. Like a lot of times I'm just way too fast, where I have a hard time, I think, like, or I get lost kind of in the journey of explaining things. I can be long-winded.
What is the toughest stretch that you feel like you've been through in your business, and what did you learn from it?
What is it? Not this past year, the year before, first quarter, I had Zach in December, and I closed $400,000 or $500,000. I closed one deal the entire first quarter. And I realized quickly that, like, as much as I like want to be a great dad, part of me being a great dad is bringing in money. So I was like, you know, I'm like, I got to rededicate myself. I can feel it now, like when I take my foot off the gas.
Yeah.
I can feel it in the business. Not right away, but like 2 months down the road, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, I got to get back together. Even taking the leadership role.
Yep.
I took my foot off the gas here.
Oh yeah.
And like, I had to like then figure out how do I do both while doing them both at a high level. So I had to take a little bit off of my plate with all these tools while you don't have an open house tool yet. And dig back in my business. As soon as I did, I ripped off like, I think I have like 10 deals under contract in the last probably 40 days. So it's like.
I heard, I don't know if it was Gary Keller or someone talk about like balance, and their whole perspective on it is like, balance is a lie for someone who wants to be like a top level performer at something. You can be average at everything and be balanced, but if you want to really excel at the highest level at anything, you're going to be out of balance. And the people who do it most effectively, all they figure out is like, when I'm focused here, I'm focused here. And like, if it's a 3-month stretch or a 4-month stretch, it's like, when you feel your business slowing down, you're like, all right, I got to pick that back up, and I'm going in for 4 months. Yeah. And then, you know, it's like juggling. It's like, then you might feel like, oh, the family, like I got to,
what happens?
And then you're like, all right, for the next 3-4 months, I'm like, but those are top level performers. Like that's how they exist. It's like, no one can do everything at the highest level at all times. It's just not possible. So like, it's really about being able to shift your focus and like dive in 100% to that thing and really excel at it. I think that's what you do.
For years, I was a victim of, like, I would tell my clients, it's true. Like, our market essentially shuts off between Thanksgiving and Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I would too. And like, I just would watch it happen in my business every year. But it was like almost like my reset. I would get inside my business. I would come up with like my new like plans, like my new SOPs, like what I was going to do that year. It was kind of nice.
You have to
now that I'm trying to like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just like, where am I? Like, how much like do I really need to sell? And I'm trying to find that number, like where I have the balance of like everything I want, because again, ego gets involved. I'm not egotistical, but it's like just like something innate, like where it's like, this is expected of me now. Like I am a top producer. Like I need to grow. I need to grow. But it does. It messes with me mentally and then I'm looking up and I'm like, I'm easily going to clear the 25 mark, and it would be great.
Right.
But it's like, no, I gotta do 40. Like I'm constantly, so what's come with that is like, I can't take the break each year. So like, I kind of had this 47 number circled in my head. Like I'm doing this to 47. I want to push and see how hard I can get, how high I can get. And then at that point at 47, I'm never taking another phone call I don't want to take again in my life.
Is there something that you're driving towards where you're like, all right, when I can do that, like,
I want to be able, I just want to be able to, I want to be able to coach my kids. Like an ideal life in 47 years old is going to be me with an ownership interest in a bunch of different businesses, hopping on some calls in the morning for 2-3 hours, going to golf the afternoon, and showing up at the practice field ready to coach football that evening.
Yeah.
Grab the kids from school. Like that is what I want. And then I want to be able to, at that point, get them all to college, and her and I, maybe a house in Maui and a house in Key West and maybe one here, and just kind of jump around to the 3 places and live the reason why you work so hard. Like, I'm not trying to work with no intention and just back money for, I want to spend it.
That's what I was going to ask do you like have specific time carved out to like goal set, or like when do you think of these things? Like what, like
it's 7:30 at night to midnight.
That's your time? That's
my time on myself. Yeah.
Okay.
That's when everybody's in bed, and that's when I go outside and design the yard, and design my life. I think I don't ever stop thinking. I think that's why I love being in the car and showing houses and things. Like I'm often driving with no music on. I said music, but
I do the same thing.
I'm often thinking, like, and just I'm completely devoted to this. Like, I don't think I realized that until like the last couple of years, where I'm like looking at it like,
you're like, I'm in.
All I think about, like obviously I think about my kids, but how can I empower my kids through this? Like it all kind of comes back to work.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say like I don't feel out of balance. I really don't. Like I have faith in God. I have like a solid foundation. I have a great family. Like I'm blessed in a lot of ways. But I am completely devoted to work. Like if I lost work, I would lose a big part of my identity.
I think a lot of the reason why people feel out of balance is like when you're doing things like that you don't want to be doing. And I think there's ebbs and flows in the business too, where like I definitely hit certain strides where I'm like, everyone I'm working with right now, it's frustrating, tough deals, not maybe executing on some of the things that I want to be doing. And it's like trying to get out of that.
Yeah.
And when you're in that, it's really hard. Like I was reading something in his book that Jim was showing me notes from like a Gary Keller mastermind. I think it said like, when your business feels like a hobby, that's what when you're like. That's when you're doing the right things. That's when you're in your element,
I played sports my whole life.
Yeah.
And I loved practice.
Yep.
Like I was like probably I played a lot of physical sports. I was probably the most physical person on the field at most times. I played fullback and middle linebacker in football. I wanted to hit you. I wanted to hit you all practice long too. So like that carried over into my life. Like I don't know. Like I was always on, and I remain on. Like I was devoted to that, and I just switched it to this, and it's like the new game I'm in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything else is not auxiliary to it, but kind of.
Yeah.
Not my family. My family is number one.
Of course.
But
it's like playing a sport at a professional level. At some point, it becomes.
It is. You're going to have to travel. You're going to have to get on planes. You're going to have to be away from your family. You're going to have to. Yeah. And I'm blessed that Autumn grew up with a business owner as a father who is just as not present as I am, because she gives me the leeway to do it.
I think it's also too like you set like certain kind of expectations and boundaries with a partner, and
100%.
You figure out who's balancing what, and it's like this is what I'm bringing to the table. Yeah, like this is my busy time. This is
every year,
right?
I want her every year. Like when it's February and she's getting all of me, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, yo, it's coming.
Yeah.
And like when it comes, like you're not going to see me until November again. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to get November to February. Nick is here, Mr. Mom, cleaning everything, doing everything, being with the kids and spending time with you. But like, I do a good job of like on the weekends, making sure I hit an aquarium trip with the kids or go to Sesame Place. Like I'll stack people from 8 o'clock in the morning, like Mother's Day. I showed houses at 8 a.m. until 9:30 a.m., went to brunch at 10 a.m., finished with them at 1, and then was out from 1:30 to 7 showing houses. Is what it is.
How much do you think you work a week?
None. 0 hours. It feels like, I don't know. It just doesn't. How many, I would compare, like, I would say, like, how many hours a week am I frustrated? Like, and not enjoying what I'm doing? Very minimum. Maybe 3, where I'm just hung up on a bad call or in a bad deal or working with somebody. I don't work with people I don't like. Really.
How do you get yourself out of that when that happens?
Action, just like working through it. Like, most of my problems are just a problem that, like a Rubik's Cube, you got to figure them out, and then I'm on to the next thing. I don't really let things linger too long.
Don't dwell on it?
No, I don't dwell. I'm not a dweller at all.
If you could go back and talk to yourself at like 21, you're flipping houses in Port Richmond, what would the advice be that you would give yourself?
Become Gordon Stein and Gordon Katz.
Okay.
The problem was, like, I loved that and I was very good at it. Yeah. Like, I had the eye for it. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. The only reason I don't do it now is because it is such, like, I have so much passion for it. Like, when I get into something, I get into something.
Yeah.
I'm like Jack. I'm not half my way into something.
Yeah.
And it takes away from my business.
Yeah.
So, like, I quickly learned, like, I can't.
You would have to make that your business.
That would be my business. It would have to be. And then eventually, I'm sure it'll become that. Yeah. Like, that's probably going to be part of the 47 retirement. I'll flip a few a year or whatever it is that I want to do. I go develop something, or I don't know. I don't know what it's going to turn into. I just know it's going to be great.
I love that.
Yeah.
Last thing, I guess, what advice would you give to agents in this room who are looking to basically take their business and go to the next level, like you've taken yours multiple times? What's something that you go back to that you would pass along?
It would be a common theme, and I mentioned this in some of our team meetings and things. You can get paid like a professional athlete doing this. I don't know where else you could do that outside of building like an actual, not that this isn't an actual business. It is.
But like, no, you're saying
like going out and like putting your, your nuts on the line and like, taking on debt to build some crazy business. That's the only other way that you can get paid like a professional athlete. So like, I would have fun with it and be like, I have a hard time seeing things come through like open houses. There's open houses I want to run that if they were near me, I would run them still today.
Yeah.
At the volume I'm doing and how busy I am, and even having children that I see people don't pick up. I don't get that. Like, I don't want to say I'm completely driven by money, but I don't, as much as I love money, like, I don't really care about money, if that makes any sense. Like, it's all about what money can provide me, which is like freedom. It's not about things.
Yeah.
It's not, I want the easiest life I could possibly have by doing the hard, I'd rather my hard be the hard that I choose than.
Yeah. And the hard that you
give in a bunch of hard stuff because I want to live an easy life. You know what I mean? You can go live an easy life and not work and not do all the things, and your life's going to be hard because you're not going to be able to afford things. You're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Where you go out and do all the hard. If you can figure out a way to devote your life to that and kind of enjoy it,
then
you wind up with a really great life. You wind up with a really great life.
Is there anything else we didn't talk about that you think would be important to?
I think you did a great job interviewing me.
Yes.
I really do.
Thank you.
You did. I knew we would have this chemistry, buddy.
Yeah. Always good. It's like a compliment. Yeah.